Good evening and welcome to drinknectar.com. I am your host, Josh Wade, and this is the internet's place to explore the five senses of coffee and wine. I'm excited that you've been able to join me this evening for a glass of wine, and I hope that you're enjoying something wonderful on your side. Tonight we're doing the Merlot mashup from the state of Washington. I'm going to do a little bit different take on a wine tasting tonight. I have no idea what was poured in each of these three glasses, other than I know that they were from the state of Washington, and I have the bottles sitting in front of me here, but I have no idea which of these bottles is in which glass. We have a representation from each side of the state. On the east side of the state, we're represented in Spokane by Arbor Crest. In central Washington, out of the Tri-Cities, we're represented by Bernard Griffin. And over on the west side of the state, from Woodinville, we're represented by Kennedy Shaw. My wife has gone ahead and poured each of these in glass. I have no idea which one is in which glass, but we will do the swirl, the sniff, and the sip through each one. First offering here. We've got the swirl. It is a darker purple color, not quite the dark plum that you would see. Legs are non-existent, so maybe a lower alcohol content in this particular one. I'll give this one the sniff. Very spicy right off the nose. Could smell the alcohol, even though there wasn't a lot of alcohol indicated with the legs, which is actually starting to come through now. The alcohol was definitely coming through on the nose. I get a little bit of smoke and then some blackberry. So the alcohol, then the smoke, then the blackberry. It's got a decent nose. Take offering number 2 here. This particular one is a little on the darker side compared to the last one as you swirl it. Give it the sniff. Oh, definitely much more berry coming through on this one. You can smell some cherry and some blueberry in there. Not very spicy, a hint of vanilla. The last offering we have here, this one is reminiscent of the second offering in color, not quite as bright of a purple as the first one. Give it the sniff. On this one, I get more of a nutmeg or cinnamon as the first smell that comes through. And then the berries start to come through. It's a little bit challenged on the nose. So I know which one I like the smell of the best to start with. So let's go ahead and take the next step here and do the sip with offering number 1. This was the one that very much kind of struck me with the nose being more alcohol forward, and then had some dark fruit. Have a tobacco taste kind of on the back end. A little watery, a little thin on the front end, to be honest with you. Not a lot of structure coming through. Medium tannins. I wouldn't be able to handle a real spicy steak or some spicy pork ribs if you're going to be barbecuing or anything. Middle offering here. This is the one that came forward with cherry and some blueberry, a little bit of vanilla, from what I remember, and then I think it had a little bit of smoke on the back end. It was definitely more fruit forward though. Kind of challenged though on the palate. Not a lot coming out. Not getting the flavor that I wanted on the palate from what I smelled at least. It's a little chalky, kind of dirt, a little earthy, more earthy than I would typically care for. Not getting the berry. Now starting on the finish to pick up a little bit of that vanilla that initially came out. On this last one here, this was the one that kind of led forward with the, the nutmeg or the cinnamon Definitely a different color, a darker shade. Get a tobacco box there, cigar box kind of flavor. Not very fruity. It's not much of what you would expect on a fruit-forward Merlot. To me, this one's the most, the least structured, the most kind of watered down it feels like, and I know that's not what they do. So I think what it comes down to is my favorite of the three. And none of these, to be honest with you, are stellar performers. I would rate them all, and I'm going to rate them all kind of in the low 3 to 3+ when I do my nectar view in the text. So I'm going to lead here with this one being my first choice. And just from what I gather, I'm going to assume that it is the Arbor Crest. And I'm wrong. It's Bernard Griffin. Okay. This one comes from central Washington, in the Columbia Valley, the Wahalook Slope. In there, $17 is the retail price there, bottled in the Tri-Cities. And this second offering here that I picked is the Arbor Crest. And this one comes from four different wineries, all in the Columbia Valley. And this one is the $18 offering. And so that must mean that my least favorite was from Woodinville as the Kennedy Shaw. And this particular item can be picked up for $12. Rattlesnake Hills is actually 80% Merlot, 12% Petit Verdot, and 8% Malbec. So it's an interesting taste test there. None of them would really jump out at being, star performers that I would keep in my cellar to bring out in special occasions by any means. But for the Bernard Griffin at $17, probably pick it up at $14 or $12 at Costco. Not a bad offering by any means. It's been a great nectar review here. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you're enjoying a glass of wine on your end. Remember to follow us on Twitter at Nectar Wine. You can also keep up with all of our reviews across the state of Washington and specifically Spokane at www.drinknectar.com. Life is always meant to be enjoyed with friends, and I want to encourage you guys to, at any chance you get, to grab a glass of wine and enjoy it with a friend, and always remember to drink happy.